against Melbourne Victory. More on that in a moment. But firstly, a look at a young man who we like the look of. He's dynamic. He's only started now the last 3 games. He'll be one to watch on one of the flanks for Melbourne Victory. A young man with a lot of promise, Leighton Brooks. And there is Susaeta as well. He, of course, started his A-League career with Melbourne City, and he played in City's derby success just before COVID hit last season, back in February of 2020. Now a Macarthur player. His importance is just highlighted in big bold letters by the fact that they have not won when he has not played in the last 5 games. So we're about to go at Amy Park in a match that Macarthur have to get right, and Melbourne Victory want to appease their home fans and give them some hope for the near future that they can see out this disastrous campaign with a bit of style. We're off at Amy. Robbie Cruz starts things. Robbie Cruz would love a goal this evening because for the first time since the 08-09 season, he hasn't got off the mark in an A-League season. Obviously, he spent a lot of the time since overseas, Andy Harper, but he will be a crucial player. There's a few out there. What are you expecting this evening at Amy?
Well, just quite how vigilant Macarthur are going to be, actually. I think in the last couple of weeks, Adam, we've seen the teams at the bottom of the comp look very vulnerable in the first half of games and play pretty poorly. And their more fancied opponents have not been able to maintain a level and force their advantage home. The Mariners were a case in point against Victory last start and paid the ultimate price. Well, not ultimate, but a heavy price.
Cruz into some space. His attempted cross is deflected. Benyat falling over. Butterfield on the front foot. Lawton with it. He's in Brimmer.
So Macarthur don't want to repeat that form of some of the teams around them on the table. The first half of Melbourne Victory against Central Coast, the Mariners should have been 2 or 3 clear, and the disparity in play, the evident lack of intensity from the Victory players. Second half a different story, by which time the damage for the Mariners was done.
Ansell. So, back and forth passing exchange there with Brimmer, and Brooks is felled by James Meredith out there on that left wing-back role for Macarthur. Ryan and Brimmer. Butterfield and Lawton. Licence to go forward there, the young left back, and finds Justed, who himself slips over. The same happens to McGing. He's got the ice skates and gone on again.
Here we go again, Adam.
We'll get to Archie Thompson in a moment. After Kamsoba and Cruz try to combine for something meaningful for Victory. Cruz will dance. Cross nearly found Kamsoba. Benyat is there, and they can play out through the left. And Meredith. They don't need to break straight away Macarthur, which will give us an opportunity to bring in Archie Thompson, and hopefully you don't have the ice skates on tonight, Arch. Sideline.
Thanks, Adam. Obviously, the hush puppies are out in force early on in this match. It usually takes a little while before players find their feet, especially on slick surfaces like this at Amy Park. It is quite a fresh night, so I'm expecting a really high intensity start from both teams. Obviously, for Melbourne Victory, it's about putting 2 halves together. We'll see how they finish the last second half, especially against Central Coast Mariners. And for Macarthur, they started brightly against Perth, but then just lost their way a little bit in that second half. So I guess it's for those teams that start really well and attack well.
Jake Brimmer just went down there, so we've got our stats page.
We need a ticker in the bottom of the screen.
There's a few gone down. I'll get to Archie in a minute about he's been walking the surface down there before this one as Susaeta looks up and finds McGing. Rose. For a moment he has Lawton isolated, but Kamsoba comes back to help out. It looks like a back 4 for Macarthur tonight, with McGing playing right back. And Meredith stationed as a left back, which allows Lockie Rose to push up a little higher as a starting position, but that one is cut out to him, and Benyat stops that forward movement. Archie, the surface down there, how perfect is it? Is there any excuse for anyone to slip over?
Well, no, there shouldn't be, but I know almost like the modern day football, especially in the A-League, they like to stick with the moulds, don't like to tend to play with the screws. I must admit, most of my career in the A-League, I opted for that, and I didn't slip as much of these players, but they tend to water the pitch a lot more these days than I guess when I was playing, so it does make it a little bit difficult underfoot. But as far as playing surfaces, this is like a billiards table, and I'm expecting both teams to play great football, especially Macarthur, who like to push the ball around nice and early. Okay, they start to build up nice and slow, and this is where Melbourne Victory, I guess, need to be switched on, because we've seen when Central Coast, especially in that first half, were allowed to dictate the speed of the game, they got themselves into a lot of trouble.
Benyat muscles Cruz off the ball, so Macarthur can go the other way. Susaeta, he's got Rose on his right. Nicely weighted, dangerous cross. Ryan was there.
Good attack. Susaeta away. No Victory midfielders could make any impression, and he drew the back four and released Lockie Rose. Nice play. Lawton trying to delay. Jacob Butterfield took a little while to get there. Really good defending in the end. On the near post by Ryan.
Corner for Benyat. Goes to show what Susaeta means for Macarthur there. They were more than happy to hit Victory quickly in transition, and it fell. It's probably their most creative player. He was found here, and Victory have gone sleepies from the set piece, and it's a dangerous cross. There's shirts being pulled, there's people being pushed out the way, and Chris Beath has found a free kick for Melbourne Victory. Okay, well, here's one for you, Harps. More yellow cards from Chris Beath tonight, or people slipping over?
Well, Chris presided over the match in Adelaide last week, which got a lot of tongues wagging, but he's a very senior referee, and I think we've got more chance of people slipping over needlessly.
Fair enough. Okay, I'll hold you to that. Unfortunately, that skips away.
Look, I just hope, for the sake of any player involved, that they don't lose their footing needlessly and it costs their team a goal or a goal-scoring chance.
It's a perfect surface to pass the ball quickly on, and hopefully that's what we're talking about in about 90 minutes' time as Milligan starts this for Macarthur. They are extremely considered in their build-up, Macarthur. Don't do anything outlandish. Martis has got an acre to run into right there. Didn't quite get that right defensively, Melbourne Victory, and now Rose has got a lot of space on this right-hand side. Benyat. Rose moves it on quickly. Susaeta gets his skates on, does it well, but Ryan's there again. Back to Benyat. Oh, finds his mate beautifully with the outside of the foot. Susaeta, half shot, half cross. Out harmlessly for a goal kick.
Well, he was found magnificently by Benyat, was Susaeta, and quizzically onside. Quizzically lost his balance. I mean, he's been in super form. We've really learnt this season why he came to the A-League last season. Macarthur have been the beneficiaries of that. It's strange that in such a situation he should lose balance so comprehensively. Good chance for Macarthur early.
Brooks advised to take on Meredith. He gets across over in Justed's vicinity, but Federici was good enough to claim it. Benyat, lots and lots of space. There's a bit of an inquisition there between Justed and Cruz as to how Benyat got on the ball with that much space. And he, uncharacteristically, just gave it away. Cruz wins a foul. Steve Keane yesterday in press was asked about the fact that Tony Popovic apparently is being in contact with a couple of Victory players, unnamed ones, and saying that you can perhaps look elsewhere to continue your football adventure next season. And Steve Keane a little miffed about that, having to then deal with the emotion with such a decision. It's hard to believe that Tony Popovic would be making those calls without some kind of go right ahead from someone involved with Melbourne Victory. It's all a big mystery, and we don't know the answers to. I'm just putting it out there. Steve Keane mentioned it yesterday pre-game.
What Rudy just did, looks down to see, what did I slip on? Is there a banana skin out here? We're supposed to be the metaphor for the banana skin tonight. Victory, but he went down for no reason.
Milligan for Derbyshire and the return ball and not getting it. Mark Milligan, who plays his first game against Melbourne Victory since December 2008 when he was playing for Newcastle. Mark Milligan, of course, he did some very good things in a Melbourne Victory shirt, notably lifting a championship trophy on this ground in 2015. If they get that right, Victory playing out, they had to be spot on with it, and they were. Instead, all the way back to Brimmer, and not entirely sure that Jacob Butterfield knew that perhaps he was an option there. Peñat. Chusnier. One cap Socceroo out to Meredith. So a cap Socceroo once upon a time. Brooks at the flamboyant, which I'm not sure is advisable when you're trying to play out of your back third. Loses possession. He's down at the shin pad, hasn't quite got his bearings back, and Macarthur have got the ball. Ombois, dangerous run, did well. Not with that though, gave it straight back to McGing. And both sides struggling to find their rhythm at the moment in possession. This is a promising move here for Macarthur. Susaeta can't get past Brimmer, but gets a corner.
Well, they've started Macarthur like the team that is elevated on the table. We've seen this, just to reiterate the point, we've seen this in the last couple of Victory games. And the question for Ante Milicic, I'm sure, is put to his players to see through maybe the depleted state of your opponents, and certainly as reflected by their position on the table. Maintain your standards and let's forge a very clear advantage here. And they've started reasonably well, Macarthur.
Corner. Lee Broxham, perhaps the shortest man in the entire 18-yard box, who's the one to flip it away. Martis. Susaeta. His good mate Benyat. Broxham. Matt Derbyshire appealing, pleading with Chris Beath. Handball. He was the only one to make such a claim.
Well, he had a good view of it. He's right there. Whew. And it's worth a shout, but it's off the shoulder. Close enough to the shoulder to be play on.
At Derbyshire, 11 goals so far this season. The next best for Macarthur, 2. Susaeta, Puyo is on the bench. Genre, who's suspended tonight. And Mark Milligan on 2 goals for the new side in the A-League. Little set piece here. Lawton just heaves it away. Martis and Kamsoba bearing down. Brooks trying to win a header and send it forward. Still in dispute. Ansell comes barreling into James Meredith. Butterfield over his shoulder to set Kamsoba free down this right-hand side.
There's a couple of really noteworthy things there. Jake Brimmer out-leaping Susnyar in the challenge. And then as the ball bounced eventually to Butterfield, he really hit a beautiful ball into space for Kamsoba. Superb pass from Butterfield.
Broxham. Brooks off and running. And according to Chris Beath, James Meredith's challenge was all ball. Out through the right and McGinn. Rose. Got it all tangled up there, and Lawton stole in, and here goes Kamsoba on a Maisie. Elvis Kamsoba straight at Federici, whose palms, well, it sent it to the left, not straight forward, because Rudy Gested was hanging about. Good moment for Victory. Meredith. Martis, and here's his replay harps of Elvis's shot.
Great hit from Elvis. Good solid work from Federici, but Benyat lost his footing in the one-on-one, which opened the way to goal.
Boy, nice little touch to take it away from the defender. Back to McGinn and Benyat. Martis. Rose and McGinn. Trying to find Susaeta here, Macarthur. Barfield's on to that ploy for now. No, he's let him go, and here's Susaeta out to Rose. So patient from Macarthur, as we know them. McGinn. Rose. There's trouble here. Martis back to Rose. Good ball. Ryan, for the third time already in these opening 16 minutes, is there when he needed to be.
Yeah, he's read it well 3 times. And Lockie Rose has been the deliverer of those incursions, ultimately.
What's wrong with that ball? Kamsoba wins it. Cruz loses it. Back to Benyat. Thinks about a go. Turns on it. Back to Rose. And it's not quite up to standard. And Brimmer can release Brooks, who loves this opportunity just to run at players, Leighton Brooks. We'll try to go through 3 of them. That was ambitious, through Shushnia, Milligan and Meredith, 3 men who have played for the Socceroos. Fearlessness of youth. Archie Thompson, what do you make of Leighton Brooks?
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's so direct, and he has that positivity, and that's what you need, especially from your youngsters, to have that confidence to be able to do that. I think with Kamsoba too, just taking that shot nice and early can build a bit of confidence for him, because we all know he's kind of woes and maybe that composure in front of goals at the moment, but he certainly hit that well. And just talking about Susaeta, he's such a smart player, and I think that's one thing you can see that Macarthur have missed, is just these smart little runs in and around the box. You could see that he made a couple that he was found, and he's able to create space as much as he does when he creates it, when he does have the ball. But for Victory, they just need to be a little bit better, I think, in their own half, especially closing down the ball and putting pressure on.
Yeah, good point, Archie. I dare say that the smarts of Susaeta and his IQ built up over 500 games or so in Spain with Bilbao, I imagine it's going to have some bearing on this particular contest. There he is now. Little feet, gets it out to Meredith. His cross, looking for Derbyshire, who loves using his head, of course. Macarthur keep the foot down. Shushnia. Fortunately for Macarthur, he picked out Broxham. Brimmer carries out. Butterfield wins a foul. Fortunately so.
It was fortunate. Victory dropping deep. Their 2 midfielders sit right off, very much in the lap of their own centre halves, Butterfield and Brimmer.
Kamsoba Finds just dead. Nice little movement there from Victory, and couldn't quite link up with Robbie Cruz, who was making the third man run.
Well, the idea was appreciated. The effort too from Elvis, just too heavy on that last touch.
Still look like a side, Melbourne Victory, who are trying to get away from being so jilted as they have been, and the shaky nature of what they're doing with and without the ball becomes apparent sometimes, but I guess there's something else about them at the moment. For now, 20 minutes in against Macarthur, who are trying to keep their spot in the top 6. Mombwa, electric on the ball when he wants to be. His cross, that was athletic from Ryan. He's been doing his yoga. Capoeira.
Well, he's been doing his job tonight really well. However you want to describe it. I did like the last one, though. Adam? But this is a bit of the pattern. You know, Victory just dropped right off. There's zero pressure on their opponents in possession. And it does tend, in my opinion, to take the edge off the team that should have the advantage.
Sosaeta plays in Meredith. Early ball. It finds Ansell. But probing here, Macarthur.
Again, this is the pattern, and it's been recent games, but just look how much time the Macarthur players have to control the ball. No real pressure on the first touch. Well, Lockie Rose is in this habit of touching and passing the ball straight back. And then the giveaway, needless. And this is hardly a massive recovery run there from Jested. Lockie Brooks is in no real urgency to go and close the ball. Pretty gentle there from Sosaeta. You're getting the point.
Yep. Sosaeta link up there with Meredith, but it seems those little gaps have become increasingly bigger as the minutes go on, and especially in the centre of the park without the ball for Victory when they're parked on the edge of their 18-yard box. And that bloke, if he's going to get time on the ball, he's going to cause some havoc very, very soon if they're not careful, Victory. Brimmer got away with that. Broxham, who releases Robbie Cruz. Instead, trundling into the box, and Cam Sober at the far stick. Cruz one-on-one with Mark Milligan. It's a high-quality contest, and it's a little points win for the Melbourne Victory man. So loose there from Victory in a good spot on the pitch. Benyat. Away to McGing, who's off and running. And Rose, who loves going running. Unfortunately, he couldn't get his bearings right and link up with Mombwa. Cruz. Butterfield, time, pick his spot, looks for Stead, and if he can get it over to Elvis, Elvis is in, he's found him, and Elvis Cam Sober. Not a noted goal scorer, but when he scores, it's a joy to watch. The finish matches the celebration, and Victory against the run of play have gone one up.
And this is the sucker punch to which I referred. There's a slight doubt. Did Elvis use his hand at all there? Doesn't look like it. It's a great finish from Elvis. Just dead, too hard to handle in those aerial contests. Really good finish to the far post. With finishes like this from Elvis, you wonder why it's taken him so long to score goals. But he's done a beauty here. And Macarthur fall on the sword.
VAR just checking things. Third A-League goal. There it is. Not exactly a great strike rate, but he finally broke his duck post-COVID when the competition came back and last winter. Elvis likes the cool conditions.
Yes, Dylan Wenzel-Hall scored that goal last night that was rubbed out. Inadvertent handball. I wonder if that's what they're looking at here from Elvis.
They're actually checking offside.
For Gested.
We're waiting. Well, it does look offside when that ball's played.
Rudy.
On that.
He knows what the angles are, mate. Good finish from Elvis.
Take it back. As they say in the States, let's play ball. It's a goal, and it's 1-0. If they're going to have that VAR, hopefully they can sort out the fact that, and they're trying as well. The Premier Leagues in Australia are trying to get permission to use the communication between what they're actually checking, the VAR booth and the referee. But play goes on, and Macarthur have a job on their hands here. One down. Victory fans singing for once at AAMI Park in the first half. Yeah, control play so far, Harps, but
very
what off the back of it.
Sure, and I don't want to rake over old coals, but it was that hugely contentious offside awarding in the goal against Western last week, and we saw the lines. We disagreed with them, we questioned them, but we saw the lines. And tonight, no lines. So if you're a Macarthur fan, you're thinking, well, how close was that?
Lawton. Oh, lovely move from Elvis. He's in the groove right now. Kamsoba looking for a double. A little excited at the right moment, but does well to find Butterfield. Forward movement from Robbie Cruz. Doesn't quite fall for him first time. And it goes over. Goal kick.
What a pity. What a pity. Even that Elvis's brilliance on halfway didn't get rewarded with a goal. He did look like he ran out of an idea or two and almost forgot the ball at one point. But he reset himself and the attack. Butterfield very clever. And Robbie Cruz, really difficult angle. Might he have swung first time. Might have been too difficult to even try that. But nice work, Victory. Exciting play from Kamsoba.
Archie Thompson, he's on your side, Elvis, and so is Steve Keane. Is there much intelligence being passed on from the bench to Elvis, or is he just doing his own thing at the moment out there?
Well, he's just doing his own thing. I don't think you want to coach those things out of him. You want him to be having an impact up the pitch. And I was just wondering whether that first shot that he struck that hit the target gave him that confidence to have that second strike. I just felt like it was a wonderful finish. And you just look at his stats and his games, you'd have to almost think that he's an opening batsman for a test match with the amount of games he's played and maybe not as many goals. But look, that will certainly help his confidence. You can see what he does do.
Susaeta looking for Derbyshire, finds him, but the marksman for Macarthur couldn't get it down. Dangerous ball, though. But yeah, you're right, Arch. 3 off 55. It's a pretty slow old first session.
Well, you know, a lot of those were as night watchmen. I mean,
True.
if we're going to use the cricket analogy, and in fairness to him, it doesn't translate into 55 full games.
True. But he's one of those players, Harps, that you... Okay, if you hate Melbourne Victory, I understand that you don't want anyone from Melbourne Victory to do well. But for us, rest of us on the fence and general football fans, you love seeing players like that do their thing and play with the freedom and the expression.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, that part of his CV is carrying on the legacy of the late Mike Cockrell, the winner of the Mike Cockrell medal for the NPL Player of the FFA Cup, which launched his career to A-League levels. That's another reason to enjoy Elvis and what he delivers. But he does have a wonderful bag of tricks.
Oh, Brimmer couldn't bring it down and couldn't quite find the ball to find Brooks, and it's happened a couple of times to Brimmer. He's almost looked casual. I'm sure he's trying to be in the contest as much as he can, as Elvis goes down nearly. But if he was able to release Brooks there, it was problems for Macarthur again. As it stands, though, Susayeta trying to create something here.
Good defending from Lawton. Really put the skids on Susayeta. Kept the ball, the Spaniard, as he needed to, but he was under real pressure.
It's on the FFA Cup as well. It's great to see all the preliminary rounds taking place all around the country, every corner of this continent at the moment. News today that teams that finish in the bottom four are going to have to play off for the last 2 spots in the FFA Cup out of the A-League. So 9th to 12th, they're going to have to qualify to play in the Cup at the end of the year, which is a good thing. Some kind of punishment for mediocrity.
That's a really good thing. Great initiative.
Yeah, 9th will play 12th and 10th will play 11th, and the winner of those go through to the Cup, and the losers can go please themselves and not be part of it. Here's Mark Milligan striding forward. Not able to link up with Susayeta, so just knocked off balance here. Macarthur. Here's Benyat stealing the ball and bringing in Susayeta. Deflection, goal. So the story of Melbourne Victory season goes on. When there's a good moment, it's followed shortly by a not so good moment, and Susayeta, who's been Macarthur's most dangerous, makes them pay.
Yeah, he's looked the business tonight, but sloppy from Victory. Brimmer just coughing the ball up. Susayeta really with too much time. Once the play had broken down, just would seem to be a lack of urgency from Victory to really close him down. Lawton did it, showed the example a couple of moments ago. And you give this guy space, and that's what he'll do. Yes, it took a little deflection on the way through. Maybe Matty Acton would have had a play at the ball without Ansell's deflection. But he's been their best tonight, again, already, Susayeta, and he gets his team level.
Shot on target, so it counts as a goal for the player with the shot, even though there was a big deflection. All of a sudden, Amy Park is very quiet. Archie Thompson.
Yeah, it certainly is. And you just alluded to Jake Brimmer and how casual he is on the ball. And for me, in an area like that, you need to be positive, and your first touch needs to not get yourself into trouble like that. To open the ball up with the outside of your foot, especially in a dangerous area when you've got pressure on you, be very disappointing from the manager's point of view. But Susayeta, I tell you what, he's missed 3 or 4, 5 games. He hasn't looked like he's missed a beat. Just the way that he's calm on the ball, twists and turns, makes those late runs, and that finish, okay, it took a deflection, but you still got to get yourself in a position to create that and have the shot. And he's been fantastic for this first 30 minutes.
Brimmer, chance to atone and set something up here for Victory. It's an ugly looking thing on the way in, and Benyat is the one to come away. He's looking at the other end of the field, and Susayeta, unusually so, couldn't get his feet sorted out, and he gives away the foul, which advantage is played by Chris Beath as Broxham to go on. Butterfield strokes the left foot ball over, and Shushnar had to do everything he could to get the top of his head on it, and it's out for a corner.
Yeah, a little bit of a panic in the end, but Susayeta dealt with it nicely. Jacob Butterfield does have beautiful touch on his passes, no question about that. He can strike a ball as well, as we've seen on a couple of telling occasions this season. That was another teasing little offering floated over for Robbie Cruz, and Susnyar had to really scramble to glance that one clear.
Brimmer's corner. Just stead attacking it. He attacked the opponent, and well, 2 of them are down, I think. No, just the one now. That would hurt. Big Rudy off the long run, smashing into you. And Matt Derbyshire, who doesn't mind throwing himself about, has copped it. So what Archie Thompson was talking about before, about Jake Brimmer. This is what he is, the outside of the foot turn, and Benyat was there to pick his pocket, reading what was going to happen. And off the back of that, it's 1-1. So it wasn't exactly protecting the ball, if you like, or spatial awareness from Jake Brimmer in that instance, because it's a bit different to what we know when he's on top of his game. Susaeta, the second ball. Momboi's made a really good run, and Rose has too. His first touch just takes it beyond everyone, over the byline. Goal kick.
It's a great opportunity for Macarthur. Victory scrambling in transition defensively, couldn't stem the flow. The ball across to Lockie Rose, slightly behind him. His touch, it wasn't impossible for him, but his touch wasn't up to it.
Looking to play out here, Victory. My goodness.
Does that count as a save?
My goodness. Matt Acton, there's chalk on his boots from when he put his right foot through that one, because it was right on his line. I think they've been working on that on the training ground somehow when they're doing the playing out drills. Too close for comfort. Here's Cam Sober up the other end. Butterfield looking for Cam Sober again, but coughs it up, and Macarthur can spring the other way. Susaeta. Rose is off and running. You'd like him head-to-head on against most players on the pitch, but Brimmer does really well to get across and stop that.
Yeah, hard to be critical of Susaeta because he's playing so well and he's such a good player, but he didn't give Lockie Rose the best chance to hurt Victory then.
Brendan Lawton has done extraordinarily well there to release Melbourne Victory forward. Robbie Cruz could be the beneficiary. His cross has Shush now stretching, and this time it's his boot, not the top of his head, that flicks it out to relative safety. It was really positive from Lawton there at the other end when everyone was faffing about with it. And, no, your turn to play out, and Lawton just took off, beat a couple, and away they went. Ryan can't find Brooks. Archie, what are you hearing from the Macarthur bench down there? Is it all pretty quiet, or is it a lot of instruction being passed on to this team that likes to have a set way of playing?
Look, I think with Ante Milicic, he's quite calm when it comes to the coaching. I was here when he played Melbourne City, and, you know...
Here's Rose's ball. It's a dangerous one. Derbyshire is there in the middle. Ansell was thereabouts as well. Goal kick. Go for it, Arch.
As I was saying, he's quite cool and calm, collective on the bench. Ante Milicic almost reminds you of back in his playing days when I played against him, always that cool. But at the moment, for their team, one of the real instructions is that he just wants to see the ball movement a little bit quicker. We know that sometimes Macarthur, they like possession, but sometimes it can be quite slow and labouring, and then almost lets teams get in. But when you see them move the ball nice and quickly, that's when they start to create. And just what Andy Harper said there, I thought Susaeta could have probably held that ball a little bit longer for Lockie Rose, because speaking to Ante Milicic about Lockie Rose, he said that his GPS stats are through the roof, so he could almost, and you all know his speed, so he could almost just wait it a little bit longer.
They are through the roof. He's a triathlete. He's an endurance athlete and a sprinter all in one. He's Lockie Rose. But what about that moment there? Harps just took it off the boot of Cruz. Here's Robbie Cruz, though, with a big chance to get off the mark finally this season. And unfortunately, he scuffs his shot.
Well, it's a good run from Cruz. Mike Milligan turns immediately and appeals for the offside. So we don't know if he would have passed that test. A really good run from Robbie Cruz. Good touch, and then rushed it. And showed all the signs of a player who hasn't scored for a while. Good run, great touch, and then just lost really his advantage by rushing it. Not completely easy to finish a bouncing ball like that, it should be said, in defence of the Socceroo, but still.
More impressive play from Lawton on the left-hand side. Elvis this way and the other, and wins a corner. To be taken by Jake Brimmer. 6 assists for Brimmer this season. 9 in total for other Victory players going into this one. His corner is met by Milligan, and Lee Broxham with a rare shot. From Butterfield. Brimmer again. Beautiful little back heel for Robbie Cruz, who stands it up. Looking for Ansell. Perhaps Justed was the man. He's the skyscraper in the middle there. He's calling for it now. Here's Rudy. Just over.
That's a good ball from Broxham. And this is why he was brought to the league. I mean, they should just be, every time they get set, he's in the box and someone can aim for him. Why not? He's going to win the lion's share of those challenges, and then the percentages suggest he's going to get a chunk of them on target.
Milligan looking for the big switch out to Meredith, but only finds Broxham. He's encouraging Matt Acton to come and get it. Brooks, positive run, gets rid of Martis. There's numbers here for Victory. 4 on 3, in fact. Justed just over. And Mark Milligan gives him a serve on the way through. Rudy just looks up and goes, hey, bud, it's 50 minutes to go. It's a while to go, but it was a spray from Milligan.
Well, that's a bit of a sign there. Martis just blown away. And Justed getting the front position. Not going to expect a striker to leave that, but if he did manage to let it run, Elvis would have had a tap in. Good numbers forward for Victory. Great burst by Brooks.
Susayeta looking for Derbyshire. Back to Meredith. Ombois. It's crossed for Derbyshire, but Acton comes out and claims. And poor old Matt Derbyshire is not having the easiest night of it so far. Cruz. Kemsoba making a really intelligent run inside. Elvis for a double. Can't get it past Federici. Wasn't much on the shot. Certainly nowhere near the power of what scored in the first goal, Harps.
Not at all. Never looked likely on that occasion. Superb pass from Robbie Cruz. Great run from Elvis. And again, questionable defending from Macarthur.
Here's Martis. Macarthur just desperately trying to find this win. Their last win was back on Good Friday. 5 games since. Rose, deflected cross, difficult. Derbyshire attacked it, so did Acton, and he claimed safely. Macarthur just looking to break this run of draws. It's been 3 straight. Many clubs, 4 straight draws. Victory, the last of which back in 17-18. Milligan's cross to stop Cruz. Macarthur do that well. Benyat turns back. Derbyshire is a little annoyed there. He's waiting for the ball to feet, and instead Macarthur just elect to recycle possession. Ombois and Rose can't link up with each other, and Lawton, he's not been the best player on the pitch. He's close to it. Milligan does well to stop that. Butterfield. Ryan and Brimmer, 2 former Liverpool Academy products. Kemsoba looking for Cruz. McGing was onto that. Does well. It's not going to go out. To Lawton. Butterfield and Brimmer. The other side perhaps to Broxton. No, to Ansell and Ryan. Another slip. Shusted. Shushnia. Too physical in the eyes of Chris Beath from the Macarthur centre-back.
Well, he's a giant human being. Shushnia trying to reach through and then manhandling. Chris Beath quite right to give the free kick.
Yeah, the back of the head grab down towards the ground probably tipped it against the Macarthur defender there. And Brimmer a long way out to try and trouble a keeper of Adam Federici's quality. Can't set up in the wall though these days. Just trying to block Federici's vision right here. Looks like Brimmer's going to have a crack. Jake Brimmer. Oh! Federici was slow to react. It's still alive here. Big shout of handball from Lockie Rose. Chris Beath doesn't want to know about it just yet. We'll have a check. Yep, he's gone straight to the ear, but Lockie Rose is saying no, all chest.
Yeah. And Leighton Brooks is asking for the fans to raise the noise levels to influence the decision. I didn't think it was a handball, but I know it was a fantastic free kick from Brimmer. That is spectacular. What a pity that didn't go in.
I think even if it did hit the arm, it's going to be really harsh to give it because it was the silhouette. So, what a free kick. Federici was almost mesmerised by it.
Well, he was nowhere near it, and we know how good Adam is. It's a wonderful hit from Brimmer.
Jeez, Rudy Justed's involved in rugby union ruck in the middle of the 18-yard box. Butterfield hits it cleanly, but straight at a Macarthur defender. Broxham, that was really important. It stopped. A lightning move forward from Macarthur FC.
And then the DJ gets back into position to deny Susayeta.
So an exciting first half. Some big chances at either end. Mark Milligan happy for Elvis Kamsoba, not too happy because it's only job half done in stopping Elvis getting a double, but he opened the scoring with a spectacular strike. The chance for a double as well, Elvis, but he'd be pretty happy with his first half. Macarthur FC hit back through Markel Susayeta, and that's how we are at the break. It's Melbourne Victory 1, Macarthur FC 1. Let's get down to Archie Thompson.
Well, you're on air now anyway, mate. So how did you see that first half play out, mate?
Look, we controlled where we needed to control, but we're too sloppy, a little bit sloppy in transition, and we knew that would be the case. They're dangerous. They have a way of playing, and that cost us a goal.
Well, look, you started really brightly, you conceded, but you must be pleased with the way that your team responded.
Well, yeah, definitely. We had to respond. We didn't have a choice, so we need to keep doing what we do better, much better.
All right, Millsy, get in there, mate. End-to-end stuff here at Amy Park in a very tight contest. Stick around after the break. Adam Peacock and Andy Harper will go over the first half highlights between Melbourne Victory and Macarthur Bulls.
Sam Walker, remember the name. Oh, this kid's a freak. It's gold-plated for the Eels.
An old-fashioned Friday night blockbuster.
With every cup, we cultivate some of the finest coffee in the world. With every cup, we elevate every coffee moment into a movement, protecting what's precious to ensure exceptional quality. Growing new beginnings, creating infinite possibilities. Because with every cup, precious coffee preserves the beauty of our world. Nespresso, what else?
Somehow we have come to believe that success is given to the lucky few. Luck is something I earn. The harder I work, the luckier I am. My muscle chef delivers fresh, healthy food so I can create my own luck.
At McCafe, every 6th coffee is free when you order on the My Macca's app. Buy any 5 coffees and your next one is on us. Download the My Macca's app and start earning your free coffees today.